Always said don't suffer no fools. Serpents I can feel it rushing through my veins. Your love's the only drug I know. But we've been playing the hand now we're dealt, so we can light it up. I know that we can make it through the night, but I can feel it for you inside. So there won't be nothing tonight. You wanna know my feelings every time I look in your eyes. Baby, I can feel your energy, it's making me realize everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I. Everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I.
NA production.
Woo. Everybody, welcome in to RFDL Week 8, Day 1. I'm Ecliptic Fades. I have Aerolax, Daki, and Firestreak with me. How are we doing today, guys?
I'm feeling.
Oh my god,
great.
give me some real answers. Thank you.
We're doing good.
No,
we're doing good.
We're feeling great. I feel like I'm still riding the hype train from my nightly events last night. So
You went to a rave, not
You went to Arabia.
Yep.
RFDL after dark tonight.
Oh dear.
Whoa. Well, nothing after dark about that. Gosh dang, Fade.
Nightly events,
Wow.
like, come on.
Okay. You wow for that. For real.
Anyway,
Dear.
you guys might have noticed that we have a special match as our second match of the day. That one's going to be exciting. We have a 1v1 show match between Aerolax and Daki. That one is going to be very interesting. They've been asking me for weeks to do this.
What?
And we're finally going to be doing that. You have. Y'all have been asking for a while. So,
That's crazy.
but
Crazy.
before we talk about the matches this week, let's talk about some of the matches last week, because we had some really nice matches last week, and we're just gonna replay our Sunday replays as we usually do, show off some of those matches, starting with Foxhead and Cloud9, along with the other matches that we had this last week. This one, along with 4 others, went to Game 5. And we only had 1 Game 4, thanks, Daki.
Daki.
We almost had our full sweep. Do you think we get it this week, guys?
Ian's really hitting us with the
I don't know, because the trend has been like that. It goes like we have the week where everything's really close, and then we have the week where we have more 3-0s than we'd like. So if that pattern follows, I'll probably see more 3-0s this week. But I could be surprised by that.
I mean, the trend overall as we've gone through the weeks is that the matches are getting longer and longer. Like week 1 and week 2 we had 22 games, but then this past week we had 29 out of a possible 30. So again, as we've always said, like it feels like these teams are just getting closer and closer every single week, and the data shows that.
I don't know about a full sweep of all the games, or all the matches going to game 5s, but I think we'll get at least like 3 of them going to game 5. So I think we should have quite a few series that are really entertaining. So yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that all the matches are going to be pretty entertaining. As we said multiple weeks in a row now, all of these teams are so close together. Either team can beat the other on a good day, so it's really just dependent on who's popping off every day. And I will say, we do have some of the most amount of live matches that we've had this week, going with 4 of those out of the 6. So not a lot of pre-recording done this week. In fact, because of that, we only do have the 2 matches to show today, with the other 4 going tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be a bit of a longer day for everyone watching as well. That's going to be kind of exciting, having an extended RFDL day. But getting to see all these guys play live, it's really going to show what like their daily play is going to look like, because that is really what it comes down to at the end of the day. And if we see Taka continue to put on shots like that, I am expecting a good result for Fox Clan this week. But we got a lot of other teams looking for some good results this week as well. What match, what are you guys looking forward to from seeing from the teams this weekend?
I mean, other than getting to play in our match, Fade, because naturally you gotta be excited for your own game. But other than that, I think that I'm really looking forward to seeing, honestly, our featured match of the week, which is going to be that Protogen Rebellion Twisted Tales game. I think that one has the opportunity to be really entertaining, especially if both of those teams bring their A games, and I think that one has a chance to have some really entertaining moments with both good plays and maybe some goober-like activity, because there are a bunch of goobers on those teams. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that one too, honestly. I was gonna say, I was gonna ask you guys what your thoughts are on both teams coming into it, because it is gonna be our featured matchup of the week. And along with that, sources have told me that both teams are planning to be in the same VC while they're playing today, which means that it's gonna be a very chaotic game. I'm not sure if that's still the plan, but could make it quite a fun match. What are your guys' thoughts about it?
I feel like that's just a recipe for chaos, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it'll be fun to watch regardless of what happens. So.
I mean, anytime Joshi and Turtles are in the same VC, you know it's going to be complete chaos. So, yeah, that's going to be an entertaining match to watch at the very least, and I'm all for it. So,
yeah, I'm very excited to see if Protogen Rebellion can show up after their last week's win against Persian 1, because that was a very hard-fought victory as well. And Twisted Tales did some really good stuff last week as well, but unfortunately not able to take their match to a Game 5 against the Waptic. But they looked really good, so either of these teams could step up, and I am excited to see which one of them will take the win. But then we've also got some really other good matches this week too, if I remember correctly. We have What else is like a really good match to talk about? I would say I'm looking forward to Dignipaws and FoxClan coming up tomorrow, because that one, you have Dignipaws, who just got the first win against X3 Tactics, and then you've got FoxClan, who have been on a bit of a downturn, but they've got that new member in Abyss, and they are looking really strong. So we're also going to get the Taka versus Yuki matchup, which I'm also very excited to see. And I want to see which of those two are going to take the dub this week.
I mean, Faye, let's be honest. You're just excited for that one due to the Taka versus Yuki matchup. Let's be honest, your old teammates.
Oh, yeah.
But personally, I kind of want to hear which one Daki is most excited about, because I've already shared mine. But I feel like Daki is going to have a really good match to share his excitement for.
I mean, yeah. Kind of the ones that I was going to talk about have kind of been stolen from me. No, I mean, if I had to pick one that hasn't already been talked about, for me, like upcoming, the ones that I'm going to be looking for, Persian 1 X3 is probably going to be, I think, pretty good in terms of just, I think, both teams kind of looking to rebound, and so I think that one will be exciting, just to see how both teams are able to rebound from that and see who has a better job of letting the last week's events kind of fall off of them.
Yeah, that's completely fair. It's always really about that bounce back when you're in a league setting like this, because you really just can't let those losses get to you, and just being able to bounce back just can automatically just show how good a team really is.
And to be fair, when we're talking about bouncing back, I think Persian 1, quite a bounce back is going to be needed from them, based off of how their match went. It was so close. X3 Tactics, at least, they can kind of wipe that game 5 out of their mind, but, you know, because Yuki was so dominant during that match. This one literally went all the way over to 0 seconds, and there was a very big chance for an overtime if it wasn't for a little bit of an unfortunate commit. But other than that, yeah, you see it right there. And there's not much more to say about that one, but...
It happens.
Oh, yeah, but I definitely think that, you know, they're going to play with a chip on their shoulder this week. Probably a little bit angry. They're going to want that win. And that means it's kind of scary for X3 Tactics, because Persian 1 can show up, and they have on multiple occasions against those higher ranked teams. They definitely have what it takes to win. So if X3 Tactics take them lightly, they might find themselves at the end of a game 5 against them once again, or maybe even a sweep, because I could see Persian 1 doing that. But I mean, let's talk about some of the other games too. We have the ones that we haven't mentioned, of course, are the ones that Aerolax and Daki are going to be a part of. Black Bunny versus Lumosity and Big Dragon Squad versus Awoptics, two of our very high-ranked teams, very attack-aggressive teams, going up against the casters here. And I mean, to be honest, Black Bunny Lumosity is very exciting for me, because that Avid Aerolax combo that we have been loving to see the last few weeks, you guys are going to have to go up against a really strong opponent, and you just took down Big Dragon Squad. Black Bunny is going to be just as tough of an enemy, and I think that that's going to be a very good test to see exactly where your team is going into mid-season.
Honestly, yeah, I feel that. Like, of course, we all know just Black Bunny Gaming was just absolutely dominant last season, and they're still kind of showing off a bit of that dominance this season as well. They're very, very high on the standings, and it's definitely going to be a difficult match, that's for sure. But I mean, we'll just have to see how it goes, really. Like, I can talk as much as I want about it, but the only way to really know who's to win is to just play the game.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's talk about Big Dragon Squad versus a Waptic 2 Fire. Because, you know, a Waptic looking really good against Twisted Tails last week. Big Dragon Squad is going to be a very, very hard matchup. You saw what they could do against Lumimosity. What do you think Daki's chances are in this coming match?
I mean, we've said it once, and I'm going to say it again. The X factor in this game is what car is Reverb in? Is he in the backfire? In which case, I'm sorry, Daki, you might be in a little bit of trouble there, because I certainly know what it's like to be playing against Reverb in a backfire, and that is terrifying. But I mean, if Reverb is rocking the Octane or another more standard car, then I don't know, Daki. Their team might have a chance in this one. Then it's I think Reverb will still keep them close in that one, but I mean, I'm not sure if Reverb will be able to close the deal if he's in the Octane or the Fennec or the Dominus. So we'll just need to wait and see.
Yeah, Daki, what are your thoughts before your match coming up later tomorrow?
I mean, they're really good, so I'll have to see if we can kind of combat that offensive heavy gameplay that they have. But I mean, I think the one trick I have up my sleeve is I've played quite a bit of ranked with Reverb, so I know some of the the play styles that he likes to go for. So I feel like I have a decent understanding of how to counteract that.
Yeah, and I just want to ask you what your mentality is going into your match later on today as well.
Wait, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, easy.
Oh, okay. Aerolax, what about you? What's your mentality on your match later today?
Oh, easy.
Oh, okay. Well, that's gonna be great, guys.
Wait, fade.
Yeah.
I think you've kind of left out talking about one match, and I feel like it's worthy of being talked about, mainly by Daki and Aerolax. But what about that Gentle Paws Claude 9 matchup?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's our first match of the day, so I was gonna talk about that afterwards. But I mean, that is gonna be a great matchup to watch as well. Both teams looking to get another win, and you know, Gentle Paws looked really good last week. Unfortunately not able to take it against Black Bunny, but they did have a really good chance, and they looked really strong up until that game 5. And I mean, you had Cloud9 who took it all the way to game 5 against Fox Clan, and they were able to turn that into a victory for themselves, so they're also looking really strong. What are you guys excited to see, Daki and Arrow, from that match coming up?
I'm hoping to see some Fade own goals, honestly.
Wow.
Now, personally, I'm hoping to see some Fire own goals, so.
Agreed.
Fair.
Okay. I mean, fair.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what that is. But, Daki, you get to do this one today. Can you go ahead and walk us through the top 5 goals of the last week?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Actually, hold up. That is the wrong thing. NA Production, everybody.
wait, what?
Yeah, that was the wrong one.
That was the wrong thing, apparently. So, I think.
Give it a second.
I'm pretty sure that was the right thing.
Oh, was
It
it?
looked like the right thing to me, but I know that clip. That first clip is in both montages, so.
Oh, okay. So let's just go right back to it then. Go ahead and give us that talk, I guess.
Well, I mean, peep the scoreboard. You'll see that it is indicative of what we're up to right now. But first play is going to be this really, really good save off of a double from Sylvia. I mean, that's basically in and just barely gets to it. And then, of course, the follow-up save from Krub. That's just fantastic. And next up, we have Pictus. Don't mind the lack of team colors here. We see a fake double into a donk. This is so good. Hammer is up quick to block it, but just not quite reading that fake. And I mean, it's just a war play to Pictus. Fake that double. And then this one, of course, the Hammer redirect. Bottom right placement. Does not get much better than that. Beats the defender as well. That's just such a good shot. There's not really much more to say about that one. Now we got, this team over here for who they are, but full team passing play from Gala to T-Park and over to myself. Phone was nice, definitely satisfying to have this happen in real time. The comms were flowing and the passes were too. And then of course the bit number one will be Taka's fantastic double, gets the slide off the ceiling, manages to make sure to hold power slide, not to lose momentum, and gets the tight angle double. This is so high and just perfect. No one getting to that one. Taka's double will be the number one.
Yeah, that is quite a good top 5 plays of the week, and well deserved from all those players. Those were some incredible shots. We're hoping we see a few more of those shots today getting into some of our matches. I'm pretty sure we have some very capable players on the field showing up today, so we'll have to see exactly how that goes. But let's go ahead and start talking about our first match of the day, guys. It is going to be Claude 9 versus Gentle Paws, and it's going to be a caster battle. I'm finally going on my little trek through the rest of the casters here on the desk, and I got to start off with Fire, and it's going to be a tough matchup. Gentle Paws was looking really good last week, but let's talk about Claude 9 coming into this one. A little bias from me, but my team is goated. And you've got Voltic putting goals in the back of the net the entire time. And you've got Factual, the backline defense of the entire roster. And then you got me just sitting in the backpack waiting to get carried. I am high on demos per game, which is weird, considering I'm not usually a demo-heavy player, but I'm up there, so, squad's looking good.
Yeah. Like I said, and I've said it week after week, it's really nice to see Voltec continue to get better and better, fitting into these rotations really well. And that continues to be the case. And yeah, it's really nice to see this team succeeding. I knew it was possible. I think they just needed to kind of tighten up the rotations, and they absolutely have. So.
I mean, yeah, Cloud9, a very solid roster. They're never going to be an easy team to go against any week, and I mean, I think that's in part due to how balanced they are rank-wise. They can really, I feel like they're all on the same page in terms of how fast each player on that squad is going to be getting to the ball when they're trying to make challenges, and that just bodes well for their rotations. So, yeah, great team and great players on their side.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, and I also do just want to mention something. On that team, they're currently put in on the master sheet as GC2, GC1, C3. However, factual data finally hitting GC1. Just props to him for that. That is such an accomplishment. Honestly, was a long time coming though, but just congrats to him for that.
Agreed. I was hyped to hear that.
That's my Season 0 teammate! Let's go, Factual!
Yeah, I was very happy to see that he hit GC. Well deserved for Factual. He is such a really good player. Very game sense based, and he really is he plays it very patiently. He waits for the right opportunity, and it was only a matter of time before he'd get to that GC. And now that he's gotten there, that's a huge weight off his shoulders. Hopefully, now he can play without having to focus on that, and hopefully he can get to GC and get some rewards this season. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to this season, as it was the last day of the season that he got to it. But I expect him to be getting those rewards pretty easily from here on out. But enough about Cloud9. Let's talk about Gentle Paws, because they were looking insanely well last week as well. And this team cannot be underestimated. Strawberry, Fire Streak, and Pictus, with Shelby being that coach for them. And with Shelby's help, they have really gotten their rotations down. We've started to see where their play style has been leading to. Really, Strawberry and Fire trying to set up Pictus as much as possible. That is what their rotations have seemed to be based off of the last couple of weeks, and they've been getting better and better at it. We're just going to have to see if they can pop off this week and do the same.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I agree with that. It's really hoping to see that they kind of perform as well as they did last week. I think I mentioned it back then, and I'm hoping to see kind of more of the same of that first game where they had the confidence in the shooting and the rotations were really solid. That kind of fell apart as the series went on, but there definitely was a very bright spot to start that series off of. So if they're able to recreate that more consistently, they'll be a lot better off, I think, in the long run.
Yeah, I completely agree because that first game going 5-1 in their favor, like it was nothing short of stellar from that Gentle Paws team. But Black Bunny Gaming able to come back, and I know like part of that is definitely due to the fact that Black Bunny Gaming is very much able to just like adapt to what's going wrong and fix it really quickly. But also I feel that at least a tiny part of that was like Gentle Paws possibly letting off the gas just a tiny bit, and that allowed Black Money Gaming to come back into that. But if Gentle Paws is able to just kind of keep that pedal pressed down and just keep up that speed, keep up those rotations, then they can definitely take the win on this.
I mean, I might have insider info once again, but we have noticed some bits of awkwardness between me and Straub in the rotation side of things. So I've been sure to pull her aside so we can talk out those rotations, asking many different people what they're seeing. And I think we have a chance to really work out those rotations this week. And I'm hoping that we can implement what we've been practicing in scrims this week in terms of those rotations. So we'll need to see if we're able to put it all together.
Yeah, for sure. I think the team's looking really good. They definitely look like a scary team, especially when you guys are absolutely popping off and getting picked as the ball as much as possible. It seems like he's just such a mechanical shooter, so I'm expecting to see good things from them. Now, I will say, you guys have said that Cloud9 has kind of been the Gentle Paws of defense for season 1, so we'll have to see how that defensive line of ours does play against that aggressive, heavy playstyle as you guys. But before we get into our first match, Fire, what were our predictions for the matches? Or at least Aerolax and Daki's and Rise.
Yeah, so if I remember right, I'm pulling it up as we speak, but it was a split desk, and we had Daki choosing Gentle Paws in 4, Aerolax choosing Cloud9 in 5, and Rystall choosing Gentle Paws in 5. So it was definitely a split desk, but pretty much everyone seeing it being a close match. So yeah, I think it will be a close match, and we'll need to see how it turns out. But it should be a good one nonetheless.
Yeah, that's for sure. And, we can only speculate so much. Let's get these players out on the field and allow them to play their match, see exactly how these teams are going to do today. It is the first match of Week 8, day number 1, guys. It's going to be Cloud9 versus Gentle Paws, me versus Fire. Let's see which caster can take the victory in our match today. And our fellow casters, Daki and Aerolax, have some fun with this one.
We will definitely try our best here. As we get into the first match of this week, Gentle Paws versus Cloud9, already having a caster matchup. I am very excited for this. What about you, Daki?
Yeah, I mean, we've had quite a bit of, not hype, but some build up to this, I think. At least internally, for a little while now. So I'm happy to see it come to fruition. Already seen a lot of neutral. Hoping to see this pick. This already has fantastic opportunity. We have the first crossbar ping of RFDL season, but it will not stop them as Gentle Paws will get the first goal. Fire streak. Aerolax, we get the first crossbar ping though so early on. That did not take long.
No, it did not.
Great save, but Fire's there for the follow-up, and Gentle Paws up 1.
And I don't know about you guys, but I am absolutely loving the addition of the crossbar ping. It makes those misses hurt more and also less at the same time. I don't know. It's just I love the addition. But Oh, Strawberry with the miss. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Gentle Paw is definitely going to want that one back, but yeah, Gentle Paw is up by 1 already, but a lot of pressure coming out from Cloud9, and Factual going to put in the answering goal for Cloud9. And 50 seconds in, we already have 2 goals. This is starting to look like a barn burner of a match already.
Yeah, what a shot too. Top left, absolute fantastic placement right over Strawberry's head, and like you were saying, already seeming like a high octane game. A lot of shot opportunities from both teams. It is still 1-1. If anyone, a little bit less on the defense, we probably would see a higher score. And there's a lot of confidence that I'm already seeing from both teams. Both teams looking to be more confident than I think we were expecting. Probably a little bit slower, but again, both of these teams know each other very well.
Ooh,
A lot of friendly faces here as Victus almost puts in another great shot, but defense once again clamoring all over it. I had high scoring early on, but that seems to have slowed down. We have not seen a goal happen. Feels like a long time. Been a lot of opportunities though.
Yeah, indeed there has. And it's starting to feel a little bit back and forth here as we get another shot attempt from Cloud9. A good save from Fire as well. Strawberry going to be up for this. Trying to push this one downfield, but Voltac just going to be there to turn it right the way around. And once again, just a lot of back and forth here. And I feel that once one team gets some pressure, like here, oh, they're going to get an attempt, but Pictus with a fantastic save, keeping that one out. And that is just really, really well done from them. Voltac going to pass that one mid. Strawberry with the demo, just adding to the stat line there. Possibly with a shot as well. Factual with the slow 50. Very, very well played, but Strawberry's going to have the shot, but doesn't quite get it. Fire with the follow-up, and Fade off the bar. And what a save that was to keep Cloud9 tied in this game.
You're saying those pings can hurt, but those pings can feel kind of good. You're able to get a save off of one of the crossbars or the post. It can kind of feel nice, so it's in both worlds there. As an unfortunate touch, I think, for Factual. I don't think he meant to touch that. Voltac does a really good job of making sure to at least get a play out of it. As maybe a scoring opportunity as Voltac hits the post. We have another post hit, unfortunately. And that one does hurt, I think, Aerolax.
Yeah, that one's definitely got to hurt, but Cloud9 still keeping up the pressure, and that's going to feel really good for them. However, Gentle Paws with a bit of a breakaway now. Strawberry really keeping up the pressure on that ball there. Factual going to try and take this one slow. A great 50. And Voltac going to try and get that through. And Fade with the top corner shot. And putting Cloud9 up in this game. That is a fantastic shot. As we also see on the top left of the screen there, crossbar pings have been added. And we're going to try and do our best to keep a tally for those.
Hopefully we'll see that to be... Yeah, it's probably not for a long time, but at least as we kind of get the crossbar ping in our brains, as that's obviously a new thing, so it's definitely fun. But yeah, going back to that goal, that was definitely a nice shot. Again, really good placement. Both of the Cloud9 shots coming at just really, really good shots. And the placement has been fantastic for them. They don't have a lot of shooting opportunities as Gentle Paw's defense has been very good so far, but when they do have them, they take them very well. Obviously, we did have a couple miscues, but these shots have been very, very close. So we'll see. There's not a lot of time left to pick this. It's a really nice flick and gets the follow-up touch to make sure that that one goes in and does not go off the post. And what a play here from Pictus.
That is a fantastic play. Getting it past and then just able to get that touch. That is such a crucial touch because I'm pretty sure that was hitting the post otherwise. And that is just very, very well played. And with a minute left, Gentle Paws has tied up this game. Voltac trying to take that off the backboard. Doesn't get the right touch, but has to get the save instead. Factual not quite getting the touch that he wants. Voltac going to be there. Misses the wave dash. Fade going to have to dive in here and just clear that away. Kind of buy his team a little bit of time here. We're going to have to see how this goes as Cloud9 with the double commit. Fire going to be there for the shot, but Factual keeping that one away. 30 seconds left. Gentle Paws generating a lot of pressure here. Cloud9 going to have to try and break away as much as possible, or else that defense even though absolutely stellar will eventually crack under enough pressure. Factual gonna try and keep that out. Fade with a crucial touch. Voltac trying to follow that, isn't quite able to, but Cloud9 has a lot of pressure now. Factual over to Fade, tries for the shot. Strawberry gonna be there. And as we hit 0 seconds, the ball is still going to be up. It's in the corner, and Fire going to put that one down. And in game 1, we have overtime.
Yeah, so quickly. In this series, we're hitting overtime. You say game 1. And I think that was kind of expected. There was maybe a chance that Cloud9 would take it in regulation, but these teams have been playing so close together. Both teams having a lot of offense. Defenses are having to stretch, and you feel like any team could score at any moment, but defense has been so good at making sure the ball gets cleared away. Not really too much long offensive attacks. It kind of goes back and forth quite a bit, as we see here. Voltac with a great opportunity, but no one there to make sure that that one is followed. And Fire gets a nice touch. It's going to be able to follow it, but I don't think there's anyone there to push forward with him. And this one will go right back the other way. But Pictus gets a really good touch. That might go in. It does. And Pictus takes the first game for Gentle Paws.
Yeah, and I was going to say it before that goal was scored. I'm seeing a lot of double commits from Cloud9. Just a lot of pushing up just that little bit too much. And Gentle Paws able to realize that and just slot that one home. Very, very well played from them to take that game 1. And we're going to have to see if Cloud9 can kind of just figure out what was going on there, especially with those double commits, because if they're not able to fix that quickly, they're in for a world of trouble.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that was kind of maybe a little bit of desperation. They weren't doing that early on in that game, and it kind of seemed to be a thing they were starting to do as the game progressed. So I don't know if that was a nerves thing. Rotations were really solid in the beginning, but got a little bit sloppy there at the end. And I think, like you were saying, Gentle Paws doing a really good job of being on top of that when those moments happened. And to see, though, obviously it's game 1, so you got a lot of time. I think they probably knew that going into or coming out of that game, so I'm sure they'll be able to adjust to that rather quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, they're definitely going to have to, or else Gentle Paws is just going to keep taking advantage of that as much as they can. But either way, very, very well played from both teams. And again, that shot from Pictus was just so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but both teams getting like a ton of really crucial touches, honestly. And again, just that last shot from Pictus, just realizing that everyone is pushed up just that little bit too much and just taking that shot to put it home and win that first game, just very, very well done.
Yeah, and doesn't even need to place it. It just needs to be the first one up to it, and did a very good job of doing exactly that. You go to game 2. Cloud9 looking to take one, does not want to go to triple match point, as I'm sure that would make things a lot harder for them. But with how close game 1 was, I don't think there is a clear advantage for either team. But obviously Cloud9 probably knowing that they maybe got a little bit too sloppy there at the end of game 1. Knowing that going forward, I'm sure they'll have a different game plan here.
And also, I think this is actually still game 1.
Yeah, I was gonna say. NA production at its finest here.
The NA production is strong indeed, as we're gonna have to just try and figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think I remember this cross prepping happening.
Yeah.
Just...
Oh man, that. Oh man. Okay. I think we're getting things fixed up here.
Yeah. You know, we can't not have NA production to start the series off. So.
Yeah, of course.
Game 2 for real this time, though.
At least I think. Yeah, but all right. So, Cloud9 getting that one out of their half. Their Fire going to be up for this, trying to put on some early pressure for Gentle Paws. Strawberry with the follow-up shot. Voltac has to come off the backboard for that save. Very, very well played, but they're not out of it quite yet. This Cloud9 has a lot of pressure. Fades with the pinch. Voltac with the follow. And Pictus has to jump up for that. And that was a glorious save, but a fantastic shot from Cloud9 as well.
Yeah, and just a lot of good passing plays. So I mentioned earlier that kind of the hope is that the rotations get a little bit tighter, a little bit less sloppy, and I think we're already starting to see that be kind of something they're thinking about, as we've already seen some passing plays early on. It's kind of the way you fix that when you're kind of second guessing where your team's going to be. You try to just make sure to get them involved at all times. It makes it easier to track where your teammates are and kind of where you want them to be. So that's a nice quick fix that they've already started to seem to implement, but fortunately for them, Paws still very strong on offense. Not been a lot of breathing room for Cloud9 early on.
No, there has not, as Pictus gonna try and put that one home. Fire with the 50 through! And I believe gets that through too. Both Voltac and Factual being on that ball for that save, but Fire just slamming that one home, and 11 miles per hour. That is, I think that's probably the slowest shot we've had this league so far.
Yeah, but I mean, that was just kind of coming off of that continuous offense that Paws had. It's just not a lot of room for Cloud9 to get out of there. They tried, but every time they would move the ball forward, it was sent right back to them. Not really able to move out of defense, but here comes a really nice shot from Factual. Does not get the follow-up, and unfortunately, that one I think is going to find its way back into the midfield. It does, and luckily for Cloud9, Fade will be there to get the nice touch forward, but just so low on boost, no one's really able to do much about it. And backward touch from Voltac as Factual almost gets that one through, but again, not really able to score the ball. They're doing a really good job passing it, but they're not connecting on these shots, and they've got to clean that up if they want to have a chance in this game.
Indeed they do. However, Pictus getting that one over. That one might just be in off the bar as well. And the ping rings out really loud as Paws puts in that second goal. And that is very, very well played from them. Once again, Cloud9 just being pushed up just that little bit too much. And Paws once again just taking advantage of it really, really well. Cloud9 gonna have to just figure out what's really going on there. As Fade going to get the demo on Pictus, just pushing up way far for that. Factual gonna try and get that shot. This is gonna be a shot for Voltac. Down. Fade getting another demo. And we had Fade early. Oh my goodness, Pictus. Okay. Just, it's not even gonna let me speak. My goodness, what a double that is. That is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming off of, I think, the past two goals the Paws have scored, Cloud9 kind of full committing to these offensive attacks they've had. They feel like I think they have an opportunity if they send that third man forward. It's been going, whether it's going for bumps or trying to take the final shot off of a pass from the second man. And it's almost been working for them, but unfortunately it has not been working. And Pictus has been feasting on some of these misplays. This one not really coming off of that. This is more just an unfortunate heavy touch, I think, from Voltac. Both of the other two Cloud9 members not really anywhere near the play. And unfortunately for them, that will put them down 4 with 2 minutes left. You have to think, Aerolax, that might be a little bit too much to overcome here.
I mean, maybe, but it is only a goal every 30 seconds. And while difficult, that is definitely not impossible. And Cloud9 just really going to have to try and figure out just what's going on with those rotations. As Pictus going to go for another double. That one's going to go wide. But Paws is getting so much pressure on this Cloud9 side. And just Cloud9 not really getting any chances to break out of this. As we see just a lot of panic on the defensive side as well. Just a lot of double commits, a lot of misses. And Pictus gonna take full advantage of that off the pass from Fire. 5-0 with a minute 30 left. And while I was saying that 4 goals in 2 minutes is possible, it's starting to look really dire for Cloud9.
Yeah, and we talked about this earlier. Seeing Paws play like they did last week, game 1, with that confident shooting from Pictus and the good rotations from Strawberry and Fire to set Pictus up for these shots, and exactly what they've been doing all game here. As Pictus has basically had free reign to kind of set up and take some of these shooting opportunities, and that has to be feeling good for them, as we might have another opportunity, but Fades will put that one off to the side. But like you were saying, 5 goals in just over a minute.
Oh.
Not impossible, but very difficult. But if you're going to try, this is the start for that.
Indeed it is, and a fantastic shot from Fade as well. That puts the momentum back in their favor, even if they are still down. Just making sure that you don't get absolutely destroyed in a game is definitely good for be mental, as losing 5-1 is definitely better than losing 5-0. But it might be 6-1 as Strawberry. Gonna put that one off the side, tries for the follow, isn't able to get it. Fire, that one's gonna be high! And honestly, Fire, I wish you'd put that just a little bit lower so we could have at least heard that ping.
Yeah, unfortunately not for the sky shots. The ball does go sky and fly high. I don't know anything about that. But that's a really
Man.
good shot from Factual off of a fantastic pass from Fade. And I mean, like you were saying, I don't know if there's a chance for them to come back in this game, but this does definitely help with their momentum going into game 3.
It does, and that is a fantastic pass from Fade as well. Just getting those sidewall reads is already difficult as is, but then just being able to hit that off the backboard and pass to your teammate, that's just really, really well done from Fade. And once again, putting even more momentum back into Cloud9's favor. And it's still looking difficult. However, that shot, Pictus going to be able to save that one. That was such a glorious shot, putting that one just top bins, just not quite able to get it through the defense of General Paws. With those few misses there, that's definitely going to be game there. And General Paws going to be on triple match point now, and Cloud9 gonna have to try and complete a reverse sweep if they want a chance in this. But I think so far in the league we've had 2 reverse sweeps, and this is definitely the setup that you want if you want to try for the 3rd one.
Yeah, like you're saying, we've definitely seen it happen before. And I think with those last offensive pushes they had at the end of that game, they definitely have some kind of momentum, I think, moving forward. You didn't really see a lot of that early on in that game, but something clicked there in those last few minute and a half, maybe the last 90 seconds of that game. And they can keep on doing that going into game 3. They definitely have a good chance, I think, to complete that reverse sweep, like you were saying.
I completely agree, but like General Paws just came out swinging that game, like seriously, especially that double from Pictus. That's really, really nice. But yeah, General Paws just keeping up so much pressure that entire game. I'm honestly curious as to like the stats on that, specifically for things like possession and just how long the ball was on that Cloud9 half, because it really felt like Cloud9 just didn't have any breathing room that entire game.
Yeah, and I think that coming off of those rotations that Genopause was having, not only were they shooting well, they were setting each other up very well. It's exactly what we talked about in terms of what we want to see from this team. They are good enough to do that. They just haven't really done that as much, I think, this season. Obviously, learning new teams and rotations around new players, they've had to do that quite a bit this season. I think they're finally starting to figure that out, though. And for teams moving forward, that has to be a little bit scary to see. The team with this much shooting potential and starting to click like they have been, as another opportunity for Pictus. We'll open the scoring for game 3, and who else is going to be scoring that one for Pictus?
I mean, of course, but yeah, we're seeing once again just a couple unfortunate misses from Cloud9, and they're gonna have to just try and figure that out really, really quickly, or else this is going to be a sweep, and you know you definitely don't want to be swept. It is a really awful feeling. But Cloud9 just gonna try and be fighting for that as they keep possession here, trying to just fend off Genopause as much as possible, but Genopause just being so aggressive here, just keeping up the pressure more and more. Cloud9 finally getting a little bit of a chance here, and then just immediately, once again, Genopause just breaking away. And I feel really the theme of this match so far has just been Genopause being able to just break away from the Cloud9 pressure so quickly. And Cloud9, as you can see, just kind of fumbling under the pressure that Genopause is putting on.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think some of these Cloud9 plays, even in the midfield, are just taking too long to develop. By the time I think they have the ability to make those passes, there's already someone back from Genopause. I'm not even sure what happened here, but Fire will take the goal, and that gives them a 2-goal lead. They're on the track here for the sweep, which is unfortunate for Cloud9, but I think Voltec just a little bit too awkward there, and no one back in net to cover, and 3:38 left. Gentle Paws up 2. Definitely not an unsurmountable lead by any means, but I have to be thinking for Gentle Paws in the mental factor. This has to be feeling good for them.
Indeed, it does. And with 3 minutes 30 left on the clock, Cloud9 still has a lot of chances to get back in this game. And one game is all they need to really start swinging that momentum in their favor and possibly complete the reverse sweep. But Gentle Paws, once again, just keeping up a lot of pressure. Cloud9 going to have a chance here. Voltac going to be up for this very quickly. Opts to try and take it low. Gets a bump on Pictus, but no one from Cloud9 there to try and challenge that. Strawberry going to put it through, not 1, but 2. Pictus going to be up, tries for the shot, and is going to get it off the crossbar. That is a glorious shot.
Yeah, what a read up so quick to that. No one even had a chance to get back to that in time and slams that one down off the crossbar. And I mean, they just have so much momentum right now. 3 goals is not a huge lead, but with the momentum they have in their favor right now, Gentle Paws seemingly unbeatable. That lead feeling a lot larger than 3, especially when you're having that momentum not going your way. And I've been noticing Voltac a little bit quieter this series than we've seen in the past few weeks. I'm not sure if that's an issue with playtime, but as I was going to say, I was immediately shut up by this fantastic beat from Factual. I don't know what happened to the third man here for Gentle Paws. I don't know if Fire was that third. Maybe some bumps that we saw here, but this is a start for them coming back into this game.
Indeed it is, and that momentum might be enough to shift this. As Fire going to challenge that, not quite get the touch, but Strawberry nearly getting that. Fire had the flip, but isn't quite able to use it in time. Now Voltac trying to put this one upfield. Factual hesitating maybe a tiny bit, but then gets the shot over. Pictus with the save, and Pictus is just absolutely popping off right now. But Fade does not care. Pictus might be getting those saves, but Fade just gonna put it right where he can, and that is a glorious shot. 72 miles per hour. What a shot that is.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
When you need to reverse sweep, you need everything to go perfectly for you, and 2 perfect shots back to back. The first one saved by Pictus, but the other one not, and absolutely beautiful top shelf shot from Fade. We'll put this into a 1-goal game. And now we might have a tied game as Factual gets the goal off of another really good pass from Voltac. And maybe you were right, Aerolax. Maybe the momentum is swinging here.
Maybe it is, as we saw there, just no one from Gentle Paws back for that. And suddenly we are all tied up in what looked to be pretty much already over. Cloud9 playing this so very well, just not giving up, keeping themselves in this game. That one's going to be off the ceiling, and Pictus is going to read it very well. And Gentle Paws just keeping up that momentum once again, just able to get that counterattack really quickly, and Cloud9 pretty much right back to where they started, just needs to get another goal to just stay in this game.
Ah, that's gotta hurt. You had so much momentum. That had to feel good getting those 3 straight unanswered goals, and all of a sudden you're down 1 again. You do have quite a bit of time though. You've been playing a lot better more recently, but it might be a little bit awkward. I think Factual hoping for a different pass, and this is actually a really good spot for them. They have all the boost. The miscommunication as a team bump comes out on the offense. That's definitely not something you want to see for Cloud9. And still though, just a little bit under a minute and a half. Only a 1-goal game. Definitely not impossible. They need to clean up, I think, some of these rotations they've had here. They're starting to look a little bit desperate.
A little bit, yeah. But you can't really blame them, as 1 minute down, or 1 minute left to go, sorry. And Cloud9 still down by that 1 goal. They're just gonna have to try and find something quickly to just keep that momentum up and just keep them in this game. But that one's gonna be very difficult. And Pictus gonna pop it over both defenders, increasing that goal lead up to 2. And with 50 seconds left, Cloud9 once again in a desperate situation.
Yeah, the rotation is definitely a lot more offensive based, and obviously you kind of have to when you're down 1 and on match point, and there's no one there to cover just in case Voltac did get beat. And Voltac did get beat, obviously that just left the goal open, and no one really back in time. 41 seconds is definitely not impossible. We see a bomb come through, but just no one there to take the shot, and we're down to 30 seconds. It's a 2-goal game. This much more going in Genopaw's favor. They're doing a really good job of shutting the ball down. Cloud9 seemingly stuck in their own defense once again, and do not think that they have what it takes, I think, at this point, momentum-wise, to push the ball forward. I could be wrong, but 15 seconds left. That 2-goal lead, I think, is looking insurmountable.
Yeah, it is, especially since Cloud9 is on defense here. And Genopaw is just going to play this back just to keep possession, and that's going to pretty much be game. And Cloud9 is going to definitely be hurting after that loss, because once again, getting swept, never a good feeling.
No, definitely not. And Cloud9, you looked pretty decent there, you know, in those few moments in that last game. But unfortunately for them, just not able to do that consistently. Saw a lot of shooting by Genopaws. They seem to be all over the ball constantly. For Genopaws, I mean, it's exactly what we wanted to see, right? We said that before, and I've said this a million times, and I'll keep saying it. They have so much potential to be that offense-heavy, rotational team. They have not done that up until this point, but this series, they seem to have that down on lock.
Oh yeah, they did, and it was... They just played that so very well. Like, just Genopaws was just... It felt like Genopaws was on another level, honestly. And just hats off to them. That was a stellar performance.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're Cloud9 as well, you probably know that you could play that better. You probably know exactly what was going on, or at least have an inclination of some of the issues you were having. And I think you can walk away with that knowing, okay, you didn't play as well as you could have played. You can play better next week, and I think you walk out of that with things to learn from.
Oh, absolutely. They definitely have things that they could learn from that, but like again, like it felt like Genopaw, specifically Pictus, was just again on another level, and yeah, just I feel like Cloud9 can't really be too sad about how they played, because they were definitely playing well, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely agree with that. But with that being said, that is the first game done. We will go to a quick break, and when we come quick break. But when we come back, we have the most exciting matchup of all time on the agenda. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you guys soon.
Hello, everybody. Welcome on back to RFDL Week 8, Day 1. I'm Eclectic Fades with Fire. Congratulations on that win, Fire. Arrow and Daki, you guys have an interesting match coming up next, but what are your final thoughts on the Cloud9 Gentle Paws series? If you have any.
I mean, yeah,
Wow.
I think both teams can walk away from that learning something. I think Genopause probably knows already what they did well, and they're probably going to try to keep doing that forward. And hopefully, Cloud9 knows what they did wrong and can move forward with that.
Yeah, and that's really all you can say. Just no matter the result, whether you win or lose, as long as you get something out of it to kind of take home and just kind of work on, you're gonna do well in the league.
I mean, can I just have a moment? Pictus? Pictus here? 10 goals, 8 saves, 16 shots, 835 average score. Huge,
Whoa.
huge
Is
series.
that real?
Whoa!
I didn't even know that.
Huge.
835.
He
didn't
also, I
realize
think,
that we had another SSL in the league until we played that match.
so
kind of OP.
So here's, I mean, he had one game that he got exactly 1,000 points as well. So I think that's a season high for anyone, which is good to see. So
Wait, what do you mean?
Pictus goated. I don't. Has anyone else gotten 1,000 or above this season?
I think so.
Yeah, Hammer's
that's happened
definitely
before.
done that.
Yeah, I think both Hammer and Corrupt have done that before.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, but no, I mean, you guys should feel good about that win. Definitely, it is a. I'm not gonna say it was a quality loss for my team, but it's something that we can learn from. There were definitely a lot of mistakes in that match, and we're gonna just probably do our best to keep that out of our heads and just go on to next week. I mean, we are 4-4 now, so we're still even. So we're still happy about our position. We're just gonna have to really work on our gameplay for the next 3 weeks so we can make it into a good spot for mid-season. But enough about that match. I'm tired of talking about it, to be completely honest. I want to talk about this next match because we actually have a bit of a special one going on today, guys. Due to pre-recording and the stuff that we usually do, we actually have 4 matches to show tomorrow and only 2 to show today, which means we had to fill some time before our next official match of Protogen Rebellion and Twisted Tales. And to do that, we are going to do a little bit of a 1v1 show match between Aerolax and Daki. It's going to be a very interesting match as well, showing off what these guys might look like if they play in a 1v1 during the mid-season tournament. I'm excited to do it. We haven't done a 1v1 in a long time. And I mean, what are your guys' thoughts going into it besides easy?
Easy squared. No. Honestly, like, I'm just excited, really. Like, I've 1v1 Daki a handful of times. Okay, fine. No, I've 1v1 Daki quite a lot of times, and I feel like at this point, like, we've kind of figured out how each other play. So we definitely have a step up on each other, and it's definitely going to be interesting to see, to say the least.
Daki, what are you expecting from this match? Oh, he's typing GG easy.
Huh?
Daki, I asked what you're expecting from this match coming up.
Oh, you didn't write the death scratch, did you? Easy.
Okay, besides easy.
Oh, I have to actually think. Oh,
Yep.
That's not my specialty. I hope to not miss goals.
That's
All right,
tough
guys,
ask.
in chat, place your bets. How many crossbar pings are we going to hear from Daki?
Yeah, honestly, that's gonna be a
Um,
tough one.
I think regardless of how many crossbar pings Daki gets, the answer to that is going to be not enough. So
Fair.
we need
Fair.
all the crossbar pings. Out of this combination of players over the series, I am expecting a minimum of 10 per game. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Hopefully we get a
20 got it.
7-game series. Exactly. So, I mean, we'll see. Hopefully a lot though. I want to hear more than this last series because we need more crossbar pings from last series.
Yeah, I
How
have
many
to
did we
agree.
have last series?
6.
5, 6.
6? Oh,
6.
yeah. We definitely need more. Jeez.
Well, if you guys do at least 1 per game, you will beat that because this is going to be a best of 7 series. So if we get to game 7 and you do 1 crossbar ping per game, you will beat that. But I'm expecting a lot more, especially seeing that Daki and Aerolax are on the field. I think
Wow.
there's gonna be quite a few good goals as well, though. Before we let you guys go and get ready for your match, here, is there anything you want to say to your competitor across the desk from you?
I'll let Aerolax go first.
Cope, seethe,
Wow.
possibly even mauled.
Oh,
I'll say Rip Bozo.
oh. Well, that
We
being said, are you guys gonna? I gotta ask, are you guys gonna hop off into like your own voice call so you can chat amongst yourselves while you guys play this one, or are you just gonna mute in the hardcore sweat?
That's a good question. I didn't really think that far.
Honestly, I didn't either.
Yeah, you know what? I know what to do here. We'll just go ahead and get them out of here. They can go and talk, and me and Fire will take the rest of this today. So Fire, as we move over to the casting desk right here in our I don't even know what I'm trying to say. What do you expect from this match?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't watched a single RFD or RLCS 1v1, so I don't really know how these go. It's gonna be a little bit of an experiment for me to see how we're gonna do this. But yeah, I expect, if nothing else, tons of crossbar pings and hopefully some very cringe plays. Like, I mean, honestly, let's be honest. I would be surprised if Aerolax doesn't go for a minimum of like 1 air dribble bump per game. So we'll need to see if that works out. So, yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think both of these guys, as they said, they have played each other in 1v1 quite a few times. So I'm very excited to see what they're gonna do. This is going to be a bit of a weird match to do in the middle of RFDL, I will say. So very excited to see what we can get here. And we are gonna go ahead and start getting into the lobby for this one. But we've got Aerolax and Daki. They're both going to be representing their own teams here. So I think without further ado, I don't see Aerolax in the game yet. Is he in the game? Because I don't.
Yes, he is in the game. I
Okay.
can confirm.
Cool. Well, we are gonna go ahead and get going on this one already. We are letting them represent their teams here, so it's gonna be Lumosity versus Alopta Gaming, Aerolax versus Daki in our first 1v1 best of 7 show match. This one's gonna be fun, guys. We're just gonna see how this goes now. A 1v1 gonna be a lot different in how this plays. As you can see immediately, what the heck was that? Aerolax immediately getting a kickoff goal to start us off. We're going to be seeing a lot of those coming into the match today, Fire. What do you think? Have you casted a 1v1 before?
No, I have not. I've never casted a 1v1 before, and kind of excited for it, not gonna lie. But immediately, I see the mind games being played on full display, because I know Daki does not like the munchy goal explosion there. So you have to wonder if that was done intentionally by Aerolax to maybe get under Daki's skin a bit, as he puts in another fantastic flick right there. 111 kph. That had some power behind it. So very well played by Aerolax to put that in.
And you can see immediately Aerolax showing a little bit of dominance in this 1v1. Now, if you look at ranks specifically, this would be a GC3 versus GC2, which means you would give Aerolax the advantage going into this. And he's trying to prove it here, but we get our first crossbar ping of the match. And you love to see it, but you're going to immediately see another goal, this time coming out for Daki, as Aerolax's crossbar hit goes straight out to him, and he's going to get the first goal for his team over on the green side. That's exactly what you need to see from Daki to come back very quickly in this match. Of course, a 2-goal lead, never something that you can rest on in a 1v1. You definitely have to play your heart out until that final ball touches the ground, because it could go either way.
Yeah, it definitely can go either way when you get those awkward pings towards middle, but before you were saying it, it would seem like Aerolax would have the advantage here, but you got to take into consideration, Daki is known to be a little bit of a ones main, so that might affect this sway of this match, because you know, Daki being a ones main, Aerolax not exactly known to play a whole lot of ones, as we see Daki slot another one into the back of the net. And maybe that's a little bit of that one's game sense coming out from Daki, from all those years of experience that Aerolax may not exactly have. Great play by Daki.
Yeah, I have to agree there. And we'll have to see, because, I mean, I will be fully transparent. I have beaten Daki in a 1v1 before. And if I could do it, I think Aerolax will have an easier time of it. No shade to Daki. I've also... Actually, I don't know if I've beaten Aerolax in a 1v1 before, so can't really say on that end. But Aerolax will have possession of this ball. We'll get the boost stolen away by Daki, though, who keeps it high, tries to go for the bump. Not going to be able to work. 3:11 on the clock, tied up here in this game number 1. As we said, this is going to be a best-of-7 show match here, so we're going to have to see if or when we get to that game 7. I hope we do, but Daki doing a really good job playing the space just right. Noticed Aero doesn't have a lot of boost in this situation, and just gets a nice little flick over to take that goal lead.
Yeah, Aero just a little bit too close on that one. Doesn't give himself enough time to react to that shot by Daki. So I would have liked to see him either play that a bit more further back, or if he is going to stay that close, to get in a quick challenge on that one. But he's going to need to recover quickly, because Daki is off the wall, is able to get control, gets the reset, but is unable to double tap that in after the reset, which is going to leave Daki on low boost, and Aero with a chance to slot that home, which he's able to do. Great play by Aerolax to recognize that Daki was on low boost, and all he needed to do is play that into space so he could slot that one home.
And I think I did hear a crossbar ping as Daki hit it off the crossbar, but it goes into his net, or off the post, should I say. So that does count. So we got into this game, which is good for the crossbar counter. We'd be wanting that to go into the triple digits. We expected it to be a lot higher already, so maybe I overestimated exactly how much we were going to get that during this weekend. But Aerolax, not the best touch. It's going to go over to Daki. And Daki going to get another goal, going up by 1 once again, really fast. Just not the best touch from Aero up in the air there. And Daki played that really patient, allowing it to come down.
I mean, we're getting a little bit of the classic matchup of the more mechanical but less experienced ones player against somebody who's played a lot of ones and is going to be opting for a lot more grounded plays. Now we see Aerolax going in the air, hoping to utilize these mechanics a bit, but is unable to get a hard enough touch after the reset, and that's going to leave an open net for Daki. I mean, if you go for those mechanical plays and you're not able to convert on them, oftentimes you're going to be a bit awkward and out of position. We see that come to fruition once again as Aerolax is left completely out of that play. So, I mean, unfortunate for Aerolax, but he still has 2 minutes, which is an eternity in ones, as we see Daki might be able to get a kickoff goal, but is unable to get the shot on target. Now he's going to be looking for the boost steal, unable to get it though, and Aerolax is going to have free possession of this ball. Aerolax setting up for the flick, and a misflip by Daki is going to give Aerolax the goal, as Aerolax brings it within 1.
You really have to respect what Aerolax is going for there. He sees Daki turn out that little bit, and that's all the space he needs to be able to flick that over to the side with no chance of it being saved. And that's what you really have to do in ones. You have to look for those tiny, minute details that do give you the advantage. And Aerolax finding that detail once again on this kickoff. That's going to be another goal over to Aerolax, tying it up really quickly. Already 10 goals in this first game.
Yeah, it's definitely a high-scoring ones match, which is naturally going to suggest a lot of kickoff goals, which we have definitely seen our fair share of. Now we're going to see Aerolax trying to control it on his side, but is unable to do so, and Daki misses the open net. Very unfortunate for Daki, and Daki is going to want that one back. Now we see Daki potentially looking a bit awkward, but not as awkward as it appeared, as Daki is able to bait Aerolax into the challenge, but then just hit it over him and set themselves up for an open net.
And that's just really good timing on using that flip reset that he got there. Perfect from Daki, just baiting in Aerolax a tiny little bit to allow him to get that. And now another opportunity, but Aero is going to stay close enough to his ball to hit it high. Doesn't look like a shot opportunity for Daki will come out of this one, and a good 50, making sure that Aerolax cannot take the same opportunity. However, Daki low on boost. Aero tries to take it the long way, but Daki does get the save. And he is just going to roll this one in. It's going to be a 2-goal lead for Daki with 55 seconds left.
I mean, normally you would say that, you know, Daki has a huge advantage in this match because of the 2-goal lead, but it is ones that can change at any time. You can get 2 kickoff goals, and that can completely flip the script. But we see Daki potentially getting the opportunity to take possession there, but is unable to do so. Aerolax able to get the demo after a little bit of an open net miss, and now we just see Aerolax hit it around Daki. That's going to bring it within 1 with 40 seconds left. He only used 20 seconds or 15 seconds to get that ball in the net, and if he's able to repeat that, we're going to have a tie game on our hands.
And Daki, unfortunately, not getting the lucky spawn over. If he was on the right side by his net, he might have been able to turn in and get to a touch on the ball, even if Aero had shot that. Unfortunately, not able to do that, but he is able to do this one. Another great goal coming out from Daki, and he regains that 2-goal lead. Just playing that little bit more aggressively, getting a touch past Aero on that sidewall. And Daki looking to take game number 1 with 32 seconds left. Not much more time for Aerolax. He's going to have to find some good kickoffs here. 30 seconds remaining. Looks like he found one. Daki can't get the touch. And it is going to be a 1-goal game once again.
Yeah, these two players are known to 1v1 each other quite often, and that's showing. They both know the counterplays to each of the other players' habits, and that's just leading to a huge scoring game right now, which is kind of good to see for a ones match. Daki is going to have possession of this. He's going to have time on the ball. I would have liked to see him maybe do a slow play there. Maybe just try to burn some time off the clock, since it is ones and the game can change at any point. Now we see Aerolax potentially baiting Daki into a poor challenge there, and that's going to give him the open net, which is going to tie it up with only 4 seconds left.
And you can see Daki went to go and get that ball, but his jump just not acting the way he wanted it to. And Aero just playing that patient enough to see that happen, takes every advantage given to him. And with 4 seconds left, looks like we're going to be in an OT. Now, will the ball hit 0? on the ground. It looks like it might. Daki is going to let that hit, and we do have OT in this first match. This first game, number 1. Who's going to take the lead on this best of 7? Daki takes possession off the kickoff. Not the best touch from him, though. Aero is going to push and not going to be able to move forward for Daki, but he will be able to get this corner boost. Aero has to play this smart. Goes for a big 50. Will he be able to get back to it in time as it bounced towards the midfield? Daki with the shot, and as my voice cracks, Daki will take game number 1.
Yeah, Aerolax just kind of committing into the opposing player's corner with no boost, and that's usually not a good idea on ones. You want to maybe sit back, be a bit more passive when you're that low on boost, but he kind of just overcommits himself just a little bit there, and that's going to allow Daki to finish the game off with that really nice read. So, I mean, it is ones. The script can flip at any point, but that is definitely an encouraging result for Daki as we head into game number 2 here, Fade.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, we will have our replays going quickly for this one, but they are going to take a while, just seeing that we have so many clips to have. So we'll make sure to use all of that time before we get into our game number 2. But a very good showing from both of these players to start off. You know that they've been practicing ones on our break times and such, so... Here. And I don't want to see any more of that, so we're just gonna go back to... no, we're not going to watch that. We're going to watch this 1v1, which is going to be so much better.
But yeah, I mean, you see, we get a lovely crossbar ping ringing out on that replay there, which is always good to hear. But, I mean, yeah, we got quite a few of them this game, which is hopefully going to boost our weekend number of crossbar pings, which I think is, regardless of who wins the show match, that's going to be the real victor in this one. And I see we have the Aerolax and Daki custom... graphics up, which is really good to see. Fade putting in the work in the back end, always doing his best there, so very nice to see. But we are seeing in this match, I'm seeing maybe Aerolax overcommitting himself a bit, definitely being the more risky player of the two, and if he's able to find his stride, that's going to be a really scary proposition for Daki, since if you allow Aerolax to really start popping off with those mechanics and getting some of these more mechanical plays on target, that's going to be really tough for any player to be able to defend against.
But Daki's timing has been immaculate in this game number 1 for sure. The things that he's had to be very patient for, he has been. He knows exactly when to take a specific challenge on the ball to get it past Aero. He's been doing really good on that sort of side of the field. So Aero is going to need to maybe make him a little bit more panicky. Maybe try to play some of those balls a bit faster where he's trying to be patient. And see if he can take advantage of that as we get into game number 2 here over on Urban Central. We're going to see if Aerolax can take back this game and get us to a tied series. Once again, as I have mentioned, this is going to be a best of 7 going into this 1v1, so going to be plenty more 1v1 action here. But Daki going to be trying to take a second game really quickly, and we'll be getting this first shot 13 seconds in off of Aerolax's play, playing that very patient once again.
Yeah, Daki playing that really well, really patient on that, and Aerolax had possession off of the kickoff, and he kind of just threw it away a little bit, allowing Daki to get a quick counter into that's going to result in a goal for Daki. But now we see Daki once again playing really good possession on this. They're going to go up into the air. Aerolax is opting for a patient play, but Daki's just going to take that over the top, which is going to allow Daki to take an early 2-goal lead. And Daki just looks to be playing very comfortable right now which, if you're rooting for Daki, is exactly what you want to see.
And Arrow has to play that patient. You know, if he goes up earlier, then Daki is just going to hit that above the car. But Arrow is going to be able to get a really good 50 off of this kickoff and will score their first goal. Playing the slow kickoff, that was a very smart move from Aerolax. Definitely not something that was expected by Daki, and he will pay for that one. 4:27 remaining going into this next kickoff. And we're going to have to see what Arrow does this time. Goes for the faster kickoff, bounces way off the ball, and has to play this one fast. Daki getting off the ceiling, though, might put Arrow in a rough situation, and it does. Missing that post by just a little bit, we could have had another ping. But unfortunately, Daki isn't playing that game today.
No, Daki is not playing that game today. Daki's just in a fantastic position, so even if Aerolax gets that tough save right there, Daki's going to be in a position to follow it up really quickly. As we see Daki get a favorable kickoff, but a great save by Arrow, which is going to gift us another one of the crossbar pings, which is exactly what we want to see. And now we're seeing Aerolax trying to take some possession, but Daki is in the perfect position to challenge that, which is going to result in another goal for Daki, putting Daki up by 3 only a minute into this match.
I think Arrow is just playing this one a little bit too slow. He just doesn't go up for the challenge fast enough, and Daki just outspeeding him. And we've been seeing this a lot during game number 1 as well. Daki just playing that timing game just so much better right now than Aerolax is. We're going to have to see if he can come back somehow. He does get this past Daki. He should be able to put this one into the back of the net. The missed flip is not going to work out, and the flick doesn't go fast enough. Now Arrow has to look for another one, but it's going to be wide. He's missing a few of these opportunities that you would expect him to get in. Definitely not the best ones of Aerolax's career, but we know that he can come back here. Now Daki trying to play this one patient. Arrow has to play that one off to the side, and no goal for either of these players now, but we've gone a little bit of a stretch here in a ones match without anything. Daki does have boost control though, looks for the shot. It's going to be another crossbar ping as Arrow hits that off the post and tries to send this one long. Just tries to get a long shot downfield, making Daki move back, but he doesn't really make him move back that far. Now Arrow with an opportunity. This should be a goal to turn in for Aerolax, as he just gets a nice 50 on Daki here.
Yeah, Daki just loses possession of the ball on that air dribble just a little bit, which is going to allow for Aerolax to be able to get a really favorable 50 in that situation. So great play by Aerolax to take advantage of that 50 and to be able to get a really quick counter on this on that play. But now we're going to see Aerolax get a beautiful cut, and then just to be able to put that in, and I mean, that's just really good control of the ball there, baiting Daki into trying to fly in front of his net, and then just the cut to the outside is just kind of gross. That's kind of a great play by Aerolax to be able to claw his way back into this one and put himself only down by 1, but he's going to give it right back up with a kickoff goal for Daki.
And Daki just played that kickoff perfectly, knowing that Arrow was going to try and get that through him. Plays it off to the side, gets a really good landing as well. Just an easy kickoff for Daki. And that's exactly what we're expecting from both of these players. Now Daki might have another kickoff opportunity. Plays this one slow, tries to pop it over Arrow. Not going to be able to do so, but both players are going to get some boost. However, Arrow missing his on the rotation. That's going to put him in a very awkward spot. Daki not able to put a shot on net, though. Will grab that middle boost and keeps the possession. Arrow has to waste some boost going up this wall. Daki still with control. Going to be giving this off to Arrow as he takes the retreat here. Arrow's flicks we've been seeing not necessarily coming out as strong as he would like. Maybe the Fennec being a bit of a hindrance right now for Aerolax. He might want to change off of that car, as Daki is going to double the score from Arrow. 3-6, 3-goal lead for Daki.
Yeah, Daki just plays that really well, and I don't think there's much more that needs to be said there. That's very much just a good play from Daki to be able to go up by yet another goal. As we're under the 2-minute mark, so that means Aerolax doesn't necessarily have all the... He still has plenty of time, but not just like all the time in the world, like if you have 4 or 3 minutes left. But we see Daki kind of opting for these slower, more drawn-out plays, which is going to wear down that clock really well. And, you know, this 30 more seconds off the clock that Aerolax doesn't really want to give up. Now we see Aerolax taking a great possession play. Daki, I didn't hear a crossbar ping, surprisingly, on that one, but he's able to put it off of their backboard, which is going to allow for just more time to drown off the clock. And now we're seeing just 1 minute has gone by since the last goal, and that's just going to leave Aerolax in a bit of a more tricky spot, as he's going to need some kickoff shenanigans to get back in this match.
Now he does get that mid boost away from Daki, which is going to be crucial. Can he get this goal on net? It looks like he will, and that's going to be very much needed for Aerolax. He had a bit of a drought without any goals, and he tried to fake a flick, but Daki was playing that really well. He knew that Aero wasn't going to go for a flick in that situation, which just threw the clock down even further. With only 48 seconds left, 2 goals to get, Daki gets the favorable kickoff, but will not get the boost, leaving him awkward on that ball. Aero, not the best touch, though. Daki gonna play this one slow. Aero doesn't have any boost, and that's gonna be an easy pop over Aero's head as Daki goes up by 3 once again. And this game, too, might be going to Daki pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good play by Daki. Good possession-oriented play right there. Just chip the ball over Aerolax. That's a really tough save for Aerolax to make, and he's just unable to get in the right spot early enough. Now we see Aerolax taking possession. He's going to need a good flick, but once again, Aerolax's flicks are just not where I'm sure Aerolax was hoping they'd be for this match, and with that demo, that's going to be pretty much game in favor of Daki, unless some miracles happen in favor of Aerolax. But yeah, we see just about 5 seconds left, 3 goals, even ones. That's not going to happen, especially if Daki puts yet another one in. And just like the actual Luminosity squad, Aerolax finding some trouble in this game 2, and is going to go down by 2 games in this series.
Daki looking really strong right now in this 1v1. I'm wondering if maybe a card change will come out for Aerolax as Daki wins his 2nd game in a row in this 1v1. And it was really well played by Daki in this one in particular. I'd gotta say, Aero leaving a little bit to be desired on the field right now. Gonna be expecting him to show up a little bit more for game 3. I do think that his flicks have been a little bit lackluster, and I do think that the Fennec is what's doing that. Maybe switching over to an Octane might help him visualize that hitbox a little bit better, and that in a better sight for him, but we'll have to see what he decides to do. But what are you thinking about this one going so far, Fire?
I mean, you know, Aerolax being reminiscent of, you know, with that decal, showing a little bit of the reminiscence of the old Luminosity squad with Magic Bear and Reddles, maybe just having a lot of potential, but just not really being able to close out these plays when he really needs to. So we'll need to see if he's able to clean it up a little bit, maybe take advantage of these opportunities for some dribble plays or some flick plays, because he's really going to need to get some more goals off of those opportunities, because I don't think he was able to get a single one off of a flick that last game, which is never what you want to see in ones. So I mean, I'm really just going to be looking to see if Aerolax is able to take advantage of some of these opportunities a little bit better when we're heading into this game 3. So we'll need to see if he's able to do it, but if anyone's going to be able to do it, it's going to be Aerolax.
Yeah, as we get into game number 3, Daki now half of the way through this show match win. Only needs 2 more games to continue on. And Aerolax has not went for a card change at all. He's just keeping it the exact same. He is pretty confident on this Fennec as usual. And this is quite a different clash of playstyles as well, Fire. As Aero getting this first goal usually plays a more analytical style, more rotational focus, as Daki is more of the aggressor of his team in a Waptic. So Daki would usually have the advantage in this sort of matchup, but Aerolax is quick to put in that first goal.
I mean, can we just talk about that for a second? Because that was a kind of a gross dribble play. It looked like Daki was just kind of struggling to read what Aerolax was trying to do on that play, and Aerolax just gets such good control with that, being able to get a really clean dribble play there, and now we get a little bit of a bonus here with a fantastic mechanical play from Aerolax, as well as 2 separate crossbar pings there, which I think we can count that for 2, Fade, because that was just a great play by Aerolax, and we're maybe seeing Aerolax catching fire here, but Daki is going to do their best to shut down that momentum on it with a kickoff goal. Less than a minute into this game, we already see 3 goals.
And that's not especially rare to see in a 1v1. Lots of goals going to come really fast, but getting that momentum away from Aerolax with that quick kickoff goal, that is going to be crucial for Daki remaining in control of this series. He's not going to want to let Aerolax get any momentum whatsoever. He might find himself in an awkward position here, but notices that Aero doesn't go up for the flick. Might not be feeling confident in that department right now for Aerolax, which means that Daki can play more of a ground-based game. However, Aerolax is still finding opportunities here. A great shot to the top bar. Not quite hitting it, but in the perfect position to catch Daki unaware of the shot challenge and the danger that his net was in. Now Aerolax up by 2 once again, finding himself a quick lead in this game number 3 is exactly what you want to see if we want a long series. And I want this to go all the way to 7. So I definitely want to see Aerolax get a bit of a comeback here. Now with the dribble, another flick, and this is going to be the first one for Aerolax to go in this series, and a nice little crossbar ping once again to continue on with this.
I was listening to hear if we got a ping there, but I didn't hear any, so I don't think we can count that one, Fade. But, I mean, yeah, Aerolax just looks to be playing really good in this match so far. We're seeing him be able to really be comfortable on these plays, really seeming to play within his comfort zone. And I'm seeing maybe Daki misplaying a few things, you know, a boost over ball here, maybe a missed opportunity there, and that's all it takes in these 1v1s to let your opponent get what looks to be a sizable lead, even though, I mean, 3 goals in 3 minutes is far from a difficult proposition, especially for a player of Daki's caliber in ones. So we'll need to see if Daki is able to maybe get the next goal, maybe get a little bit of momentum going their way, as we see Daki get a fantastic 50, which is going to allow for an open net by Daki to bring this within 2.
It might have just been a little bit too over-aggressive from Aerolax, allowing Daki to move past him with that ball. Gonna be a tough one to kind of beat. Aero has been playing this one much more aggressive than he has been in the previous 2 games, and it has been working out so far. But every so often you will see that those opportunities will come back to bite you, as another one might go Daki's way. That's going to be a really good 50 and a nice bump, but Aerolax will be back in time. Can't get the corner boost though, meaning Daki has possession, has to race back to this. Daki doesn't get a good angle on the ball, and he's going to have to let this goal go. And that could have been getting back to a 1-goal game for Daki. Now Aero, you can see he's looking for quite a few more bump plays this game than he has previously. Now taking control of this ball, goes under Daki, but Daki plays at just the right height to guard high and low. And that is going to be what a good ones player is able to do. However, Aero taking advantage of the situation, getting a 5th goal, and he's up by 3 once again.
Yeah, and I mean, Aerolax just does a really good job of 50ing that to a place that's going to be a bit awkward for Daki, and Daki's just unable to get back into the right spot to be able to get a 50 and put that to the side. So that's just really good play by Aerolax as we see another kickoff goal happen. But I kind of want to focus more on that last goal before because, I mean, Aerolax is just getting really favorable 50s for himself in this game, and then he's putting the shots that he should put on net. So that's really good for Aerolax to be able to really take over this game in a sense. But still 2 minutes left. Don't want to cast or curse them too much here. But we see Aerolax, he's probably going to go for a Doomsy here, but Daki's going to get a good 50. And as soon as I start glazing Aerolax, we see Daki get an open net opportunity, unable to convert on it though. And we're just going to see Aerolax be able to just kind of push the ball, walk the dog all the way across the field to put himself up by 5.
And Daki unfortunately had that open net, but hit it a little bit too wide. Not going to be great for him in this game number 3, as he is down by 5 with 1:39 remaining. We're going to have to see if he's able to come back here. That's going to be a lot of kickoff goals needed to be able to do that. And now Aero looking for one of his mechie plays, but Daki is going to take advantage. But we have seen Daki in this spot a couple of times during this game in particular, where he'd have an open net, but not quite get the right first touch needed for that. And that's going to be a huge flick by Aerolax, going up by 6 now against Daki here.
Yeah, that's really nice flick by Aerolax, and when he's able to connect on these flick plays, they seem to be pretty deadly for Daki, so that's maybe something if he's able to continue this consistency with going forward in this series, he should be able to take advantage of. But now Daki looks to have caught Aerolax a little bit awkward there, just maybe not the right challenge to go for there if you are Aerolax. I would have rather seen him just cut his losses and loop back around towards his back post and stay in position for a bit of a goal line save there. But Daki does a great job of taking advantage of that and just catching Aerolax a bit awkward. Aerolax going for the air dribble ceiling play, but that's a fantastic save by Daki to keep themselves in this match. Daki playing it high. They're going to be a bit awkward though, but they're able to put it in a good enough spot to be able to put the ball in a less dangerous spot. Aerolax going for the reset is going to get it over Daki, and that's a good mechie play by Aerolax to regain that 6-goal lead. That's exactly what you want to see if you are an Aerolax fan. Just getting enough of a flip reset to poke that over Daki and get a little bit of a slow shot, but no less impressive.
And for Aero, you can see that he's starting to go for a lot of these slower plays, going up high in the air, making Daki guess which way he's going to go for. And that's just a really good way to kind of knock the time off the clock, so to speak. Just kill the time as much as possible. You can see it's a 6-goal lead, 7 goals now for Aerolax, as he is going to hit double digits in this match. And with only 20 seconds left, it's all a formality at this point. Aerolax will be taking this first game, and we have a bit of a series on our hands here.
We definitely do, and you knew it was going to be a good series. These two players are very familiar with each other since they 1v1 each other fairly often. I don't think it's the most serious of 1v1s in most cases, but you know that both players are really bringing their A game to this series, as they're playing in front of a crowd now. They're not just playing in the background of podcast streams. So, I mean, both players are going to want this game, but that one's going to get downed, and Aerolax is going to be able to take this game 3 in a very convincing fashion, and he's going to do a little bit of a fancy flipping there towards the end as we get to that exit screen. But yeah, very convincing performance by Aerolax, and he's going to want to be able to keep that momentum heading into the next game if he wants to tie this series up.
And I gotta ask real quick, does anybody know what the sound setting the crossbar ping is on? Because I want to turn that up, but I don't know what exactly it's on. But we're gonna just go ahead and turn up a couple of these just to make sure we can hear everything a little bit more. But I think Aerolax had a really good game there. Really did a good job of coming back and making this a very enjoyable series. Now we're going to have to see if Daki can adapt to this play style, or if Aerolax is going to be able to take this next game and get us to a tied series.
Yeah, and we definitely want to see this series go further because we don't want to just be a 5 or 6 game series. We want this one to go the distance, which is always what you're going to be wishing for. Especially in these little show matches. But we've seen lots of scoring so far. We really haven't seen a low-scoring game from these two players. And, I mean, do you think any game this series we're going to maybe see a little bit of a lower-scoring game? Or do you think it's just going to keep being these really high-scoring barn-burner matches?
Oh, you know it's going to be very high-scoring this entire time. There's not... These two are so good at exploiting each other's weaknesses. They've played so many ones games against each other during the entire season. They've been playing in the background, so they've probably got over a couple hundred 1v1 matches played against each other at this point. So they know each other's weaknesses and strengths really well. They're going to be able to exploit each other as much as possible, so I expect these to continue on as we get further and further into the series. But the question is who's going to take the advantage? And as we get into game 4 here, Aerolax is going to try and tie up this series. And with a good kickoff to start us off, I think we're on the way. But Daki gets an incredible save coming back from that. No boost in the tank, though, and Aerolax should be able to take advantage of this, even with a high pop. This should be in the back of the net, and it is. And Aerolax is going to take the first goal against Daki here in game number 4.
Yeah, it's just a really good boost starve by Aerolax to be able to give himself decisive possession of that one. Daki was maybe wanting to just stay behind that ball a bit more and get a 50 on it, but not able to do so, and Daki is going to find themselves in a bit of a hole early on this game, but that one is almost in, but what a save by Aerolax. Just an unfortunate bounce for Daki as we get another crossbar ping. This time just based off of a unlucky flick by Daki, because that one wasn't too far off, and maybe not intentional, but Daki is going to be able to get the air dribble bump on this one, even though I think that bump was a little bit more due to a slight misplay by Aerolax rather than a intentional bump by Daki.
Now off the kickoff. 4 minutes 15 seconds remain. We're going to be tied up here in this game number 4. Both these players looking for a go-ahead goal. Aerolax does get a really good 50. Daki not able to get back to it in time. And Aero playing that one slow just to take a couple more seconds off the clock. Trying to take every single advantage he can get. But of course, that is kind of an awkward dribble from Aerolax as well. Maybe not necessarily playing the clock, as he is just playing his own touch right there.
Yeah, just really well played by Aerolax on that one. Just, yeah, that's exactly what you want to see from him. But now we see Daki going off of sidewall. They're going to try to get a good 50, but Aerolax does a really good job of defending that. Daki trying to get in the way, just trying to be annoying and bump Aerolax a bit, but that's not going to work out for them. But, ooh, Daki might have had an opportunity for a quick breakaway, but Aerolax is able to get the demo on Daki. And now, Aerolax does a really good job of just possessing that ball, forcing Daki to get a touch that maybe Daki didn't want to get on that one, but Daki gets a good 50, is going to have a potential breakaway opportunity, but misplays it. and Aerolax is going to score that open net, and Aerolax is going to score that 9 out of 10 times.
Oh, and Daki just got a little bit too far in front of that ball. Had to try and pop that above Aerolax. Not going to work out for him. And Aerolax now up by 2 once again in game number 4. Looking to tie this series up. Daki, however, getting a really good 50 on that kickoff. Going to put that into the top of the net. Aero barely misses. And it's still a 1-goal game. Either one of these guys can take it here.
Yeah, a really good placement on that shot by Daki, just putting it to the left side of the goal high, so Aerolax is going to struggle to get back to that. So that's just a good shot by Daki. Now we see Daki trying for the delay kickoff, but I think despite that, Aerolax is going to have the boost advantage, and Daki's going to need to maybe get a bit creative to not find themselves in a disadvantage on this one. And, you know, Daki is able to do that. Daki has that one's experience to be able to get out of those situations, and now we're going to see Daki getting a favorable 50, which is going to leave themselves with an open net, which is going to allow for a tie game. It's only 2 minutes into this one, so plenty of time for either of these players to be able to get some momentum, but if anyone has it right now, it's Daki as we head in to the final 3 minutes of this game.
And in ones, you really have to rely on your own decision making there, and Aerolax really got put in a tough spot, as he did right again here. Daki getting a 4th goal, taking the lead, and you really only can, you really have to, you know, have a really good game sense going into this one. And Aero just been putting himself in situations where he has to scramble for this ball at the last second. And Daki's just taking advantage of that. Now a little bit of a miss coming out from Daki. He is going to get this boost. And Aero goes a little bit heavy on that challenge, wanting to try and get that past Daki on the first attempt. Daki does get the save, but it's over in the green corner here. Daki getting bumped on the play, but he does recover that nicely. And this might ping off the crossbar. It doesn't. It goes straight into the net. And Daki now up by 2 with 2:19 remaining.
I mean, is that 4 straight for Daki, I think? That's, they're on one heck of a run to be able to get the lead in this one, which is, I mean, that's exactly what you want to see if you want Daki to win this one, which I think is, how can you not root for Daki, you know? But we're also rooting for Aerolax. No bias casting in this one, as we see Daki taking it into the air, but Aerolax is going to pop it over them. And Daki is going to hit this into their own corner. That's going to take an awkward bounce. Daki's going to need to go into the air to clear this one away. And they're going to be able to get that boost pad, which is going to allow them to have a free ball. Aerolax is going to get a good clear here. Maybe a momentary open net, but he's unable to get around that ball. Now we see a bump come out from Aerolax and a follow-up shot, but Daki does a really good job of recovering onto that and is going to be able to get 2 good saves to clear out the immediate danger. Daki, playing it off a sidewall, is going to go for the ceiling double, but Aerolax is all over that, and there's going to be no opportunity for that mechie play to be able to come to fruition. Now we see Daki kind of awkward, no boost on their back wall, and that's going to give Aerolax what's basically an open net opportunity right in front of Daki's net, and that's going to bring this game within 1.
And Aero really did well to see there. Daki didn't go for the boost, so he knew he was going to be low. And Daki, expecting the shot to come high, had to play that on the back wall to respect Aerolax's touch. Now Aerolax taking the smart route, playing that off. Not going to get a good 50 on this one. Can Daki turn back to the time he can? And Aerolax won't be able to reach it. Daki once again up by 2 with 1:05 left. And Aero going to start scrambling here. This might put Daki on the match point.
Yeah, I don't know about scrambling quite yet. 1 minute is still a long time, especially for 2 goals in ones. So I think Aerolax is just going to maybe try to maybe take some possession in this one and maybe try to give himself some easier opportunities to put the ball on net. But we see a little bit of an awkward recovery from Aerolax is going to allow Daki to get a potential shot on net. And Daki finds the angle to be able to put that one in, and I think now it's time for Aerolax to start scrambling, maybe try some kickoff strats, maybe try to mix things up to make Daki a bit more awkward, as yet another crossbar ping rings out in favor of Daki.
Aerolax gonna have to find some kickoff shenanigans here, not gonna be able to find it, and Daki goes for a quick shot, not able to connect the goal there. Aero trying to play this one fast. He knows he needs to get a goal here really quickly. Daki just playing the boost possession game here, gets the boost from Aerolax in the corner. Looking like another shot might be able to go on, but Aero does keep this over to the corner. Daki still grabbing that boost. Aerolax has been left on nothing this entire time. Trying for the 50, Aero does get the save, but once again, another boost grab from Daki, and all he has to do here is stall for time, and that's exactly what he keeps doing. 10 seconds left, Aero still no boost, no shot on the ball, but with 5 seconds left and 3 goals to have, Daki is going to be taking his 3rd game in this series and goes to match point.
Yeah, very well played by Daki, especially at the end. Just keeping Aerolax so low on boost that entire time, which is going to allow for the time to run out, which is exactly what you want to do in that position. You don't need another goal, and you don't want to risk any kickoff goals right there. So just keeping Aerolax in a position where Aerolax is going to be unable to get any sort of a quick shot is exactly what Daki should have done, and Daki does a really good job of it. So, I mean, last game it looked like Aerolax might have had a lot of momentum going into this game, and early on, Aerolax seemed to have a lot of that momentum, but Daki was able to shut that down really nicely, and I think Aerolax hasn't scored a goal in like 3 minutes, potentially? I need to be looking at these replays to confirm that, but yeah, it certainly has been quite a while since Aerolax has been able to put one in the back of Daki's net. And I mean, if you're a fan of Aerolax, that's not what you want to see, because Aerolax is such a offensive heavy and pressure heavy player that you would expect him to be able to put in lots of goals throughout the game in this match. So yeah, bit unfortunate if you're Aerolax, but he's going to need to reset and try to take 3 straight off of Daki to be able to take this series.
Yeah, and that's going to be a tough challenge, especially in ones where goals are just so, abundant. And Daki has been finding very good opportunities to be able to challenge Aero on a lot of these plays that we can see. It's only been about 1:18 since Aero has scored. It's just Daki's goals came at some very good times in the end of that match. And I mean, Daki is playing this one really well. He's just going to have to continue on and see exactly if he can continue on this win streak. Now going to match point. Aerolax is going to be back against a wall here. Gonna have to see if they can, bring what they know about Daki to this game and hopefully get the win and cause a game 6. As we get straight into game number 5 here on DFH Stadium Day. Gonna be a bit of a brighter map, which I know these guys definitely love. We want to see this get all the way to Champions Field, but with Daki playing how he has so far, that might not necessarily happen as he gets a really good counter on Aerolax here. That's going to be the first goal for Daki, and one step closer to that victory with 4:44 on the clock.
Yeah, that's really nice by Daki to just get a favorable 50 and then not trying to do too much on that, just getting the little double jump there into a tap into net. And why try to overcomplicate that and put too much power on it where you're risking potentially missing that one if you try to get any more power on that. So very good, smart play by Daki to put that one on net and not try to overcomplicate it. Now we see Aerolax trying to take a shot on net, but Daki is going to be back on that pretty easily, is able to get the hook shot. And I mean, those hook shots, although they look simple, those can be so deadly, especially in the ones landscape. And Aerolax wasn't expecting that much power, which is going to put Daki up by 2 early on.
And that's going to be a good lead for Daki to start on, and this might be a third one as he goes up for this off the wall, gets that full boost. Aero has had time to recover though, and will be able to get the save over to the corner. But now Aerolax going to have maintaining possession here. I know that sounded really weird, but Aerolax actually plays that so well, going low on Daki, and that is going to work out. Aerolax bringing this back to a 1-goal game really quickly, and Daki just flipping a little bit. He needed to flip the other way to get the touch on the ball, and Aerolax played that really patient. Really good to see from him.
I mean, naturally, on the defensive end on that one, you want to be able to get a touch as quickly as possible to give yourself as much of an angle as possible to hit that to the side. And that might have been going through Daki's mind as they misflipped there, potentially just trying to get on that a bit quicker than what they needed to. But now Aerolax is going to get a good touch around Daki to put a second goal in a row in, which is going to tie up this game. Now we see a kickoff going in Daki's favor. Daki's going to try to play this one off the wall, opting to take it to the ground, just get a power shot, which is very well placed, and that's exactly what they needed, as Aerolax is unable to get the defensive play on that, and that's going to put Daki back up by 1 in this match.
Daki wanting to keep this advantage as much as he can, trying to take this series. We're gonna have to see what he can do here. He gets the pop over Aerolax, and that's gonna be another goal real quick for Daki as he goes up by 2 once again, getting that lead back just as quick as he lost it. And it's just a really aggressive move forward by Aerolax, wanting to fake out the play, but not expecting Daki to just pop it over his head and then go for the shot. Daki been showing up in this ones match this weekend, showing that he is playing on par to what he usually does. I love to see it from him. And he might have another one here as Aerolax doesn't have any boost off the kickoff. And Daki just stealing that boost, putting himself in a really nice position. He noticed Aero moved a bit too far forward on that challenge, finds an opening in the back. You can't be doing that if you're Aerolax right now, Fire.
No, you can't, and I mean, you see Aerolax, maybe not a ones main, and I think that's why we're finding him a bit out of position on a fairly consistent basis on this, because, I mean, the rotations are much different between ones, twos, and threes. Ones, you want to be on the ball as much as possible without overcommitting, and we're seeing a bit more overcommits than what we would want to see out of Aerolax, but that's going to be a bit of a missed touch there by Daki, just getting an unfortunate bounce off the curve at the bottom of the wall, which is going to just set that up for Aerolax to be able to put in the back of their net, which is unfortunate for Daki. Now we see Daki opting to try to slow this play down, maybe give themselves a bit of time to get boost, but Aerolax is going to have the dribble play and is going to be able to flick that around Daki. And we're seeing the momentum. We're seeing just groups of goals come out in quick succession from both of these players. And right now, Aerolax is getting multiple goals in a row, which is what you want to see if you're a fan of Aerolax.
And he's slowly climbing his way back into this match. Now he's going to be in a good position, picking up this boost. Daki had to go all the way back to his corner to be able to get boost possession for him, but that's not a great touch by Aero. And Daki is going to take full advantage of that, getting another goal, and he's going to be up by 2 once again. And you can see what Aero's trying to go for there. Maybe wants to get a flick, maybe wants to confuse Daki on what the play is actually going to be. But Daki just plays that one super quick, gets that off of Aero's car, just bounces into a very favorable spot. And when you're playing 1v1s, it's very tough to be able to go for plays like that, because if you get if your opponent reads that play really well, it's just in the back of their net and there's nothing you can do. Now Aero trying to go up off the wall, and something I haven't seen from Aero that we like to talk about every so often, Fire, is pinches. We haven't seen Aero go for basically any in this entire series. And I'm wondering if maybe he needs to show some of those if he wants to gain this lead. It's now Daki leads by 3.
Yeah, he's opting That's another crossbar ping too. Glorious to see by Daki, putting that one off the post end in. But yeah, he's been opting for a lot more like air dribble based plays, which is something I would not expect from him because he does love his pinches. And as we see Daki get a less fortunate crossbar ping for themselves there, and that's going to allow Aerolax to have an open net to put in the back of the net. So great play by Aerolax to just get control of that ball and then just keep enough control to dribble that into the back of Daki's net, as Daki was a bit low on boost there. That's going to keep it at a 2-goal game, which is exactly what we want to see for a potential comeback from Aerolax in this one. Now Daki is having a good amount of control off of sidewall, but is unable to get the reset they want, so they're just going to opt to cut their losses. And
and I think Fire might have died here for a second, but Aerolax is going to take his possession, and I think Fire is back here now. But that was a close one from Aerolax, trying for the Doonty dish up high though, and a bit too high, but now a shot gonna come out. Daki plays that one in the air, not necessarily needing to, as that ball was high off the back wall. And now Daki has full control of the boost. He gets a shot on net, and it's gonna go in, and that's gonna be a 3-goal lead for Daki once again.
yeah, very nice challenge by Daki to be able to put that one in the back of the net. Just gets there just soon enough to beat Aerolax, and that's a really clean beat, and Aerolax just isn't going to be able to get back to that. So well played by Daki. Aerolax is going to need some kickoff magic to get back into this one. Now we see Aerolax playing it to sidewall. He should have possession if he plays it right, and Daki is going to opt to allow Aerolax to get a shot on net, but Daki is able to make the save. Now we see Daki trying to take it into the air. A bit unorthodox for Daki in ones, as we see maybe Daki go for a little bit more riskier plays, because now Daki is going to be low on boost, which is going to allow Aerolax to get a favorable 50 to bring it back within 2. And right there, I'd like to see Daki maybe identify that they have a bit more time than what they took, and to opt for a favorable 50 rather than going for the straight air dribble play. Now we see a fake kickoff by Aerolax, and I like to see Aerolax maybe trying to get a bit more creative, but just not going to go in his favor, as Daki is able to put yet another one in the back of Aerolax's net.
And that is the big problem with the fake kickoffs. I was going to mention that we hadn't seen that at all, and maybe we're seeing why that happened, as the score now 6-9, nice for Daki. But yeah, just a unfortunate bounce for Aero. He can't really get the recovery, and it is in the back of his net. And once again, a 3-goal lead for Daki with only 30 seconds remaining. Can't become 4 there, as that touch is going to be a little bit too weak, but you're stalling for a lot of time if you're Daki right now, and that's exactly what you need. You got to make sure this next one doesn't go into the back of the net, and with that save, this series might be over. A demo on Aerolax, Daki up by 3, 10 seconds left. This is going to be Daki's series to have in 5 games. He takes the win over Aerolax. Aerolax is going to get himself a little bit of an extra goal there, but that is going to be the end of this series, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this one's all chalked up. 1 second, 2 goals. I don't even think that is possible to do in a Rocket League match unless Daki was just fully let Aerolax get a pinch on kickoff, which Daki isn't going to allow that to happen. So, I mean, Daki taking the series in 5. Well played by Daki. That was definitely, even though it was ended up being only a 5-game series, that was definitely a lot closer than I think what that would suggest. So well played to both players to be able to play as well as they did, and we're going to be looking to maybe see matches that are that competitive a bit more during the mid-season tournament.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and get our guys back in here. Daki, Aerolax, good series from you both. Can I need to ask Daki, any words for Aerolax after that win?
Choose your words very carefully.
Listen, okay. All respect to Tiny Lex. It was a really. It was
Whoa.
a really.
Okay. Okay.
It was
Wow.
fun. You know. It
Can't
was.
believe you.
No, I mean he's good, and we've both we've played a lot of one, so it was like a a regular RFDL stream for us.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
when-
agree it was fun, but how dare
You guys did play very well in that match. It was very fun and entertaining to watch. I hope everybody else out there was entertained by this little bit of a show match. Now, Aerolax,
Hi.
I gotta ask, do you think that if we do that again, but you're in an Octane, that goes any different?
I mean, I do main Fennec, but I will admit it wasn't feeling right today. But I don't think that's the car's fault. I think that's just on me. Like, yeah, I was making more mistakes than I'm happy with. But
Well, I think you played excellent. I think that was a great time. But guys, that is going to be it for the show match, everybody. Congratulations to Daki for the win there. But we've got one more
can we
match.
go to best of 9?
No, we cannot.
Oh.
We actually have another match that is scheduled to start about right now, and we're going to be getting to that one after this little bit of a break, guys. So stick around, and when we get back to the desk, guys, we're going to have our final match of the day, which is going to be Protogen Rebellion against Twisted Tails. So stick with us, guys, and we will be back after the break.
Into the night, the city lights are dancing, slowly falling apart. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm wishing upon a star. This time I'm feeling stronger, and I know I can do better. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the lights on. Open your eyes and see the people chanting, slowly falling apart. The silence causing an earthquake. I'm wishing upon a star. This time I'm feeling higher, and I know I can be taller. Shadows causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning
to be hard to find. 'Cause we've already lost our mind. You and me, we're gonna write a little history. You and me, just show me love and then you'll see. Memories that we make, they are never gonna fade for a lifetime. Go on myself. I'm cold steel stainless. My glass half full. Always said don't suffer no fools. Serpents daydream. I bite, you call me lovely. Got a sweet tooth. Gonna get the sugar from you. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment. Honey, you should know I can be a weapon. I can be a weapon. Come cold blood, selfish. Your words are painless. I like when I drive and feel so dangerous. They say I'm a red flag, 'cause they want it so bad. You should know I'm holding on to what I had. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment. Honey, you should know I can be a weapon. I can be a weapon.
Easy love I can show on the outside, it's not that simple. When it's tough, I don't show how I feel looking out my window.
Hey guys, welcome on back to RFDL, and we're not going to be around for too long today. This is the most scuffed week of RFDL for sure. I will let you guys know we ran an extended break. Apparently, Twisted Tails is not actually here for their match. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do too much about it except give a forfeit victory over to Protogen Rebellion. So they get a sweep on the board and a 3-goal differential off that. And with that being said, we don't actually have any more matches to show today. So what we're going to do is we're just going to end the day a little bit early, let you guys go and relax, have a good dinner, have a good night, and come back later where you can watch our RFDL After Dark goodness as we test some new mutators. And we're going to have a bunch of fun time there. So apologies for that happening, guys. There's not really much we can do about that, but some of the members of Twisted Tails just never showed, and we're not gonna hold the Protogen Rebellion guys hostage. for too long. So we're just going to give them that victory, which means that they get their third victory. So that's always good for them. And Twisted Tails is going to be fighting from a deficit going into week number 9. So we're going to have to see how they do come next week. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it for now. We are going to hop off of here and say have a good night. And we are going to be back tomorrow with an extended day, as we're going to have 4 matches for you guys to be able to watch. So the small day today with a bit of a show match. Tomorrow will be a much longer day of RFDL with as much Rocket League as you could hope for. So thank you all for watching. Thanks for your patience, guys. And we will see you all tomorrow for day 2 of week number 8. Thanks, everybody. See ya.
See you.
See ya.
Deuces.
I know that we can make it through one night, but I can feel it.
Joshy? Who did just go? Oh, perfect.